Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have an article here about Lukashenko, Lavrov, some nuclear drills conducted by some Western countries in violation of a non-proliferation treaty. And then we have some statements coming from Mr. Lukashenko. Very strange, not strange, but how should I put it? Straightforward, I would say, and maybe dangerous, but in the current context, I wouldn't qualify them as dangerous. I would have qualified them about 5 months ago as dangerous, but now I do not. And that is because things change, obviously, the environment over there in Europe at least. So this article comes from Republic World from July 2nd, 2022. And I'm reading the headline. Belarus Lukashenko says Russia should be ready to use nuclear weapons to counter West. And I'm quoting here, "We have not done it yet, but we have to be ready," Lukashenko said, lambasting the West for conducting similar nuclear drills to subvert Russia. Well, you see, this is something that is strange here in the verbiage. For conducting similar nuclear drills. It seems like the West conducted the only drills, and this guy calls for them to conduct their own drills. So let's see. President Alexander Lukashenko, in a meeting with Russian Foreign Affairs Minister Sergei Lavrov in Minsk, said that Russia should be ready to deploy nuclear weapons to counter the Western nations' act of global hegemony. And I'm quoting again, "We have not done it yet, but we have to be ready," Lukashenko said, lambasting the West for conducting similar nuclear drills to subvert, not similar, for conducting nuclear drills to subvert Russia and Belarus. Speaking alongside Lavrov, Lukashenko accused the West of a bias, stressing that we have to defend ourselves. Now, this is important what Lavrov says. Lavrov, Russia's foreign minister, agreed that these types of nuclear drills that the West are conducting are in violation of the International Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty of 1968. So they are in violation of a treaty. Is the United Nations going to do anything about it? And if they do you think the guys will care? No. So this is how the world is run. I can do stuff, I can break the law, you can't. And once you do it, I'm going to have my little bottom feeders from my group to challenge you, to poke you at you, to yell at you, to call you names. Like in, as I said, like in a schoolyard where you have a few bullies, then the rest are picking sides. So, International Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Okay, that's a violation. And I'm quoting again. "We live in a challenging time," Lukashenko said as he hosted Russian counterpart Lavrov. And I'm quoting, they, the West, failed at diplomacy. We are for diplomatic means in the first place. But what can we do during challenges of global hegemony?" asked Belarusian leader, according to the press release from his meeting with Russian counterpart. First, and I'm quoting, "First, they started with mass media. Then they silenced diplomats. None of international organizations are effective any longer. What can we do? We have to defend ourselves to fight back," Lukashenko said. He further stressed that the West has declared an economic war against Russia. Yeah, what does transit closure mean? He asks Russia's ally, referring to the Kaliningrad blockade done by Lithuania. "Putin and I were seriously discussing these matters. They shift the blame onto the European Union. They claim they didn't do it. The European Union made this decision, but decisions are made by a consensus." That's exactly what I said every time I spoke about this. They're made by the consensus, so you agree with that, so you're part of it nevertheless. Uh, they seized our assets, our money, and imposed sanctions. This is nothing but an economic war, said the Belarusian president. I agree with that. Um, then he says here, they, Western countries, will come from Western Ukraine or somewhere else. According to the Belarusian leader, the West hasn't abandoned the goal of aligning the front so that it passes from Smolensk, Bryansk, Kursk, and from there to Rostov. Meanwhile, during the annual forum of Russia and Belarusian regions, Putin stressed that a barrage of Western sanctions against the two neighboring countries have only strengthened the unity and cooperation. I think that's accurate. And yesterday I made a video regarding Putin claiming that Belarus and Russia are getting closer to for unification. I don't think that he spoke. I didn't see uh, any hints at political unification. I saw maybe economic unification, trade unification, but I don't think military or political. And why? Is because we have two leaders who are in control of a little turf. So why would, for instance, one leader agree to be the second leader when it can be the first leader? So it's always this kind of ego. Why even let's say Lukashenko is at Putin's disposal in reality, because I think Putin, if he wants, he can take care of Lukashenko if he wants, but not vice versa. The thing is, he's still the president of a country and he's treated as such in a way that, you know, like an equal. But once they unify, let's say, politically unification between the two countries, who's going to be in charge? Do you think Lukashenko? And if do you think there's going to be a like a triumvirate in this case, dual, like Austria-Hungary or something? We'll have two kings, or even in Austria-Hungary, you didn't have that. But I'm just saying, how do you think we're going to have like Romans, three emperors or three generals or what? No, we're going to have one. There's going to be Putin, I guarantee you. And do you think that Lukashenko will accept to be de facto and de jure uh, Putin's subordinate? I don't think so. So nevertheless, and regarding the nuclear weapons, I'm surprised that Russia did not yet deploy nuclear weapons in Kaliningrad, did not deploy weapons maybe in um, Belarus, but I think I know why they didn't deploy that, because the other ones did not do it first. And the Russians are usually countering, are not attacking, like they counter. Same, it's a consequence. They are the consequences of the other side's actions. The same with Ukraine, I would say that, because of the Minsk protocols and agreements that they were in 2014, and then they had 8 years to implement it, and they continue to attack the Russian population in the East Ukraine. So therefore, after Russia told them many, many times and drew a red line, they said, okay, that's it. So the same in here, I would say. Once the Americans are going to deploy nuclear weapons, let's say in Poland, or let's say somewhere else in Finland or something like that, then the Russians will definitely do that. They will deploy theirs. That happens if you look back with the Cuban Missile Crisis. It erupted for the same reason. The American deployed nuclear warheads, so the rockets with the warheads, in Turkey. And Khrushchev told Kennedy, get out of there. And Kennedy said, what? What are you going to do about it? And Khrushchev said, yeah, okay, I will make you take them out, which in the end he did. So this is, they took them out from the Turkey. So who won that little Cuban Missile Crisis, I wonder. So I don't think Russia is going to deploy any nuclear weapons on Belarus territory unless the West does that first. Regarding the drills, yeah, there will be some drills, but not obviously with nuclear weapons. But that could scare the other side, because they're going to say, you know what, we're going to do this, and what are you going to do about it? You violate it first, we're going to be the second. See if you like it. But you're going to see how media will treat the Russians doing the drills, the nuclear drills, versus how they non-treat the West, the collective West, so-called. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and after you find some part of the truth, and be just.